Welcome back to Exposing Human Trafficking. I want to share with you some more horrific things that Brad Pitt has done to my mental health. Back in the early 90s, when I was being integrated, he pretended to be my devoted, doting fiancé. I was afraid of going to therapy because I'd never been there before. And I was in Tampa, Florida, and he was in LA. So what he wanted to do was, he said he would be on the phone. And the doctors put him on speakerphone because since he was going to be my fiancé, he wanted to be there for me. He wanted me to get well. What I didn't know he was doing was he was letting my older stepbrother, George Bermudez Jr., the human trafficker, listen into everything. He told me this when he came back to me after Legends of the Falls. He said that my brother was listening on the sessions. Now, whether or not my brother forced him to do this is irrelevant. Because we had a psychiatrist, a psychologist, both with doctorate degrees, and a psychiatric nurse. And at any time, he could have reached out to them, because he did reach out to them for other situations. And he could have said something to get me out of danger, but he didn't. Because his career mattered so much. Right before he got famous with Thelma and Louise was when he decided to break up with me. And he said he'd come back to me when I was better. Yeah, right. And all he's done is complicate my mental health. My second therapist disappeared. I saw her it's about 28 when I was seeing her. And she knew what was going on because she had gotten my records from the doctors that had integrated me. And she was working with me very well. My third therapist, which I started to see after I was crippled, because they sent someone from the Covenant that had molested me when I was 7 years old in New York at their other satanic ritual, September. At a doctor's office, it was all set up because Brad had warned me not to go to that doctor anymore. He took my medical insurance cards when I was at West Shore Plaza that I had gone to FAO Schwartz. And he told me not to go to that doctor's office again. On my medical card, it had my primary care physician's name, so they knew where to place the hit. There's some more stuff I gotta tell you, but I gotta figure out a way to phrase it gently, because I got so angry that I just want to curse him out. So when Brad came to me in Taos, New Mexico, August 7th of 2019, to break the integration, he asked me if I was seeing a therapist. He knew with multiple personality disorder that I would need lifelong therapy. And he took my insurance cards again. And while he had me under hypnosis, he told me not to go see a therapist. If Brad really cared about me, knowing what I'd been through, and the severity of my mental health issues, the problems that I had had in the past with the multiple personality disorder, the suicide attempts, the anorexia. He wouldn't have done this damage. You know, sometimes I wonder if Brad's not crazy too. He could be. He's really clingy. He's always needing reassurance. Well, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a licensed clinical social worker. If that's the case, then he needs to go get some help of his own. But I'm not going to heal him. It's not my responsibility. I didn't do this to him. When I needed help, I went out and looked for it. And I didn't stab anybody in the back at their weakest moments either. This is some of the games that human traffickers will do. And this is why I'm so concerned as to what's going on at the border with these children. Anyone who has studied MK Ultra knows that they like to traumatize children to the point of some sort of dissociation. With adults, they'll use drugs too to get mind control over the person. And this is how it starts. They start eating away at your psyche. They know how to cause multiple personality disorder. Satanists call it making you a witch. So stupid. And I repeat, there are witches and there are good witches. And this has nothing to do with witchcraft. This has to do with breaking a person's psyche and their mind. This has to do with causing permanent damage to a person. This is torture, and this is abuse at its worst kind. I know that Brad was also victimized as the boy at that same ritual, satanic ritual that I went to when I was 7, because that's where I met him. He's even done a film about boys that were abused. Go get help. He knows what to do. You know, I know he's afraid of my stepbrother. My stepbrother busted his face when they had a fight the day after that I was gang raped by presidents, politicians, and Hollywood elite. And I know that Brad mentioned the porn guy, the one that was the first one to have intercourse with me, that backed off when he realized that they were having me deflowered and he saw the blood coming out of me. Brad mentioned to me that a porn guy had been killed, and I think that's that guy. That guy got really mad when he saw what was happening and he left, but he never called the cops or anything. He didn't try to get me out of there. He just didn't want to do it. And it shows you what this industry is all about. Everybody's out for their own, and they don't care about anybody else getting hurt. You know, when I think about the things that Brett has done to me, he's not well. He's got issues. And Jolie is now claiming domestic violence. Where there's smoke, there's fire, folks. And with people like this, you need to stay away from them. There is no I love you, because people who love you don't do these things to you. People that are mentally ill like this, destructive and hurting others, need to be somewhere with professionals that can help them. You can't help someone like this. I don't even feel bad for him anymore. Because I've been the object of his wrath so many times. He's killed my children. I really suspect he's the one who killed my animals in Taos, New Mexico. And he tried to kill me. The sad part about the whole thing is that when you see Brad Pitt in the movies or interviews or photographs in a magazine, you think it's this, sophisticated, good-looking man, and you don't know that he's a psychopath. It's almost like finding out that Santa Claus isn't real. It's all an illusion. And I'm going to say it again. I want nothing to do with him. He is a monster. And no, there is no forgiveness for anything like this. You put my life in danger and you've got to go. That goes for Brad Pitt. That goes for my stepbrother, George Bermudez Jr. It goes for my stepfather, George Bermudez Sr. It goes for my mother, Evelyn Bermudez. And everyone else in this disgusting coven that has crossed paths with me. Everyone who has taken a bribe from Brad Pitt to get close to me, to get information to feed to him. Everyone who has set me up so that they can come and traffic me again. And it only makes sense that these people do end up going crazy like this because there's something in the human being called a conscience. And as much as you might think that you don't have conscience and you're ruthless, it's still there eating at you. And the more you do bad things, the deeper you get in with the criminals and the more they've got to blackmail you with. So I'm going to make it very clear. I want nothing to do with Brad Pitt, ever. That ruckus you just heard in the background, that's confirmation. Something just fell. I want nothing to do with him. And the way that just fell is how any foundation of anything that was being built between he and I back in 1989 has crumbled and is gone and is rubble. I don't want any explanations. I don't want any I'm sorries. I don't want anything to do with Brad Pitt. Except put him in jail. And expose what he is. So the best thing that Brad Pitt can do is go get some mental health help and go turn himself in. Because this stuff is coming out. And everybody is starting to say what he's really about. His own kids testified against him. So he needs to man up and own up to every last thing that he's done. He could have gotten out of this many times. He could call a press conference at any moment and tell people what's been going on, but he's chosen not to. Because he wants money and he wants fame. And because they have him blackmailed. Confession is good for the soul. Go ahead and unburden yourself. And leave me alone. You've already done enough damage. And you're nothing but a horror story to me. But this is how human trafficking works. Psychological games. Until they break their victim. I can't be broken anymore. Because all my pieces coming together made a good, strong mosaic. And it seems that the more they try to do to me, the stronger I get. So thank you for that. Because now I've got everything that I need to go forth and tell the truth about what you guys are all about. Go take a long look in the mirror if you're involved in human trafficking. And when you look deep into your eyes, you're going to see the eyes of every victim that you tortured for money or fame or privilege or just plain wickedness. And you're going to see a monster looking back at you. I want to thank the rest of you guys for listening. This channel has helped me do a lot of healing. You guys have showed me so much encouragement and support. And I love each and every one of you. So give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what you think about this whole situation. Subscribe if you haven't. And share so that there's not one more victim of human trafficking. Thank you.